guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. So I just have to say before starting this video that this is the third time I've tried filming this. The first time I was completely out of focus and I didn't realize until about 15 minutes in of filming when I was almost done that the whole time I was completely out of focus and I can't see very well on my little viewfinder on my camera because it's so small. But yeah, I was out of focus, and then the second time around, not only was I not in the middle of the screen, but also I had a piece of fuzz on my face and it was so distracting. So now that I'm sitting down for a third time, my next door neighbors decided to start some construction. Yeah, so I just want to get through this video, but hopefully you guys will bear with me if you hear a little bit of construction noise going on in the background. Hopefully you won't, because I got a new microphone on my camera and it's directional, and so it's pointing towards me and not them. So hopefully not too much noise will get picked up by this microphone. But anyway, just wanted to let you guys know that I am very determined to do this video for you guys today. So ever since I started eating a vegan diet, I've been getting asked a lot of the same questions, and one of the most common questions I get asked is, what the heck do you eat? I also get a lot of people that will tell me that they've been interested in trying out a vegan diet, but they just don't know where to begin, and so I decided to sit down and kind of run through what a typical day of meals looks like for me. I'm hoping that it'll give you a little bit of insight as to how I prepare my meals, and generally just what a vegan meal looks like on a day-to-day basis. Obviously, this isn't what I eat every single day. I don't eat the exact same thing every single day, but like I said, hopefully this will just give you a little bit of insight and a little bit of an idea of what I eat every day. So starting off with the morning, the very first thing that I have to have is my coffee, and there's nothing really special there. I just use a single cup drip and a local coffee brand called Capricorn coffee, but what I do use in it is a vegan creamer by So Delicious, and this one is their coconut milk creamer in the flavor hazelnut, and it is so good. It's my absolute favorite. So after having my coffee, I move on to making my breakfast, and I talked about it a little bit in my Getting Unready With Me video, which I'll go ahead and link down below. But the night before, I like to freeze some fresh fruit and some vegetables to make a smoothie the next day. But for this day, I decided to make some steel cut oats and fruit, and I've been loving steel cut oats. They're a little bit different from regular rolled oatmeal because it's not as mushy and it has just a better texture in my opinion. But if you can't find steel cut oats, then regular oatmeal works just fine. So to prepare the oatmeal, I just boil a cup and a half of water over the stovetop, and then I add in about a half cup of the steel cut oats, and I'll cook this for about 10 to 15 minutes depending on how I want the consistency to be. But while it's cooking, I'll add in cinnamon, a pat of vegan butter, this one is by Earth Balance, and then a couple tablespoons of brown sugar. Then once that's done cooking and it's to the consistency that I would like it, I'm gonna go ahead and pour it into a bowl and start layering on my toppings. Now my toppings change up from day to day, but the way that I made it this day was by adding a couple teaspoons of chia seeds and flax seeds, and then cutting up some fresh fruit. Here I have a couple of strawberries that I added to it, and then you can leave it like this, or you can add a little bit of dairy-free milk. I just added some rice milk to it, and that completed this breakfast. Alright, so moving on to lunch. Sometimes for lunch I'll just have some leftovers from the night before, whatever I had for dinner. But this day I decided to make myself and my boyfriend a salad, and my salads change every time that I make them depending on what kind of vegetables I have on hand. But here I had some butter lettuce and some arugula, and so that's what I used first. So I just added a couple handfuls of both into my bowls, and then after that I just used something called a spiralizer, which is this little device that you twist up some kind of vegetable in, and little noodles made out of those vegetables come out. And so I just spiralized a zucchini and a carrot over top my lettuces, and then after that I added a couple teaspoons of flax seeds, and then after that I sliced up a couple of cucumber slices and added that, and I used a roasted tomato garlic dressing. I just happen to have this one on hand. You can really use any kind of vegan salad dressing that you have. So after drizzling on a couple tablespoons of my dressing, that completes my salads. So sometime between lunch and dinner I tend to get really hungry, and so I'll make myself a small snack. I decided to make some baked chickpeas, which are really simple to make. All you have to do is find a can of garbanzo beans, which are also known as chickpeas, and go ahead and open them up and drain out the liquid. And then after draining them, you want to dry them off before baking them. And so how I do that is I just grab a plate and I put down a paper towel and dump out all my chickpeas on top of it and let it drain out for a few minutes. And then after my chickpeas have drained out, I'm gonna go ahead and transfer them into a bowl and drizzle on a little bit of oil and some spices. The spices that I decided to use this day were granulated garlic, some barbecue spices, and some salt. So after adding in my seasonings and my oil, I just give it a quick toss, and then I transfer my chickpeas onto my baking dish. And then to give these chickpeas a little bit more of a buttery kind of cheesy spicy flavor, I added some nutritional yeast. And you can find this at a lot of grocery stores. I found this at Whole Foods and it was in their bulk food area. And so I just took a couple pinches and sprinkled it over the top of my chickpeas, and then I popped it into the oven on, I think, 355 degrees. And you really bake these to your own taste, like however crispy you want these. I tend to like them not baked all the way. I like them a little bit chewy and a little bit soft in the middle, but you can bake them for longer if you want them crispier. But I popped them in the oven for about half an hour, and then once they started to get golden over the top, I pulled them out and then let them cool off a little bit. Then after that, I just took a spatula and transferred them into a bowl and started snacking on them. These are really great because not only are they high protein, but they're also really easy to take with you. If you just pop them into a Tupperware container, you can take them with you pretty much wherever you go. Then for dinner, I typically like to make something that's mostly vegetables. So I'll usually make like a stir fry or something like that. But I happen to have a butternut squash that I needed to cook up, and so that's what I made on this night for dinner. And how you prepare butternut squash is super simple. All you have to do is cut it in half lengthwise, and I cut mine into quarters because that's the only way it would fit into my baking dish. So when you open it up, you're going to see all these seeds and stuff inside, and you want to scrape that out using a spoon because you don't want to eat it. So once my butternut squash is all cleaned out, I'm just going to go ahead and face it face down onto my baking dish and pop it into the oven. And the cooking time again varies depending on how big your butternut squash is, but I roasted mine for about half an hour to 40 minutes, and usually this is enough to cook it all the way through. So after my butternut squash is all cooked, I'm going to go ahead and serve it up with a little bit of rice, and then I just added some toasted almonds over the top of the rice to add a little bit of texture and a little bit of protein. Then after dinner, I have to have dessert. And so the dessert that I've been loving lately is this non-dairy frozen ice cream like deal by Amy's, and it's in the flavor vanilla, but I usually like to serve it up with a little bit of cut up fruit. And so right here, I'm serving it up with some sliced up mango, and you guys, it is so good. I personally think it tastes better than regular ice cream because it has this light, super vanilla-y taste to it, and then with the fresh fruit, oh, so good. Anyway, guys, that does it for this video. I hope it gave you some ideas and some insight as to what I eat on a typical day. And like I said, I don't eat this every single day, but this is just to kind of give you a glimpse at what kind of meals I prepare for myself. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up because my next door neighbors are going nuts with the construction, and I just don't want that noise to be in my video. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button if you did enjoy this video. That way I know to make more like it. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching. Take care. Bye. Every time I start to talk, I'm gonna kill them.